Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Backwards Angling. Really excited for this one. I've been thinking about doing this for quite a while. I want to do a DIY ice fishing spoon building episode. So over the past several years, I've really started to use the spoon more and more. And now I'm probably at a point where I use a spoon. I probably have one tied on at least like 80 to 90% of the time. It just has such an attraction to it. It just seems like it's just pulling so many fish in. Bringing so many fish into the hole. So I haven't really been able to take it off. Some of the spoons I really like are the VMC tumbler spoon, the Swedish pimple, and the dinner bell spoon. They all work really well. So I'm going to be trying to replicate that today. We're just going to be using simple spinners, a simple little kit that I bought off Amazon, some holograms, some googly eyes for 99 cents that I bought, and just some hooks and some O-rings, and we're gonna make some really cool designs and kind of give it our own little flair. And then at the very end of this episode, we're gonna go out to some local ponds. We're gonna try them out and see if they will catch fish in a similar way as the VMC tumbler spoon or the Swedish pimple or whatever else I've got in my box. Okay, so thanks a lot for watching, and let's get started on some spoon building. Okay, so the first thing that I got was this kit. I think it was $11 or $12. And this is just, these are blades for like spinner baits, things like that. Willow blades. I tried to find ones that were kind of on the smaller end. So you can see we have these silver ones. I think they're about in 1.6, 1.7 inches. So that's kind of the upper end of what I'm using for the fish that I'm targeting, but that might be good for like a walleye or a pike or something like that. These are the ones I'm going to be using the most. These are like 1.1, 1.2 inches, and those are about the size of the spoons I've been using to catch bass, bluegill, crappie, whatever this season. And then we have some different sized, what are those, Colorado blades, or I can't remember what those are called, but they're gold and silver. Oh, they're gold, silver. There's a couple different sizes in there, so we have little ones, big ones, and we can even make spoons out of those, or we can add those as extra flash. The kit also has some O-rings, which is nice, and then it has some swivels, but we don't need those right now. So that was $12, so not too bad. I'll put all the links below for all the materials that I got. All this stuff came off of Amazon. So then I got some treble hooks. We're going to be using most of the ones on the smaller end. But I can use the ones on the larger end for some bait making that I'm going to do down the road on this channel. I did get some extra O-rings just because I wanted some different sizes. This also comes with something that, as I've been messing around with this, I also find to be almost essential. These O-rings are really annoying if you're trying to get them with your fingernail or with a coin or however you're trying to get them apart. This little wrench that they sent along with this kit is pretty nice. These little O-ring pliers. So I would say get one of those, or get a kit that has those pliers with it, or it's gonna be so annoying. What else did I get? So I got these tiny little spinners, which I think will be good for the flash that a lot of these spoons have next to the hook. So now the fun part. I got some different holograms. I got 2 different hologram packages, so they're pretty cool, and they don't hardly cost you anything. Lots of different colors, lots of different designs, and they stick right on. Supposedly, they had good reviews. Supposedly they're supposed to stick really well, so I've got those. And then I paid an extra, maybe like $10 for these ones. I'm thinking about doing some more bait making on this channel later on. So especially in open water season, I might make some other different lures. I'm kind of planning some things. So I also bought these googly eyes. I think they were like 99 cents. And I'm just going to stick these on with super glue. I think they'll stay on just fine. Those are just from a craft store or something. Okay, so that's everything we're going to need, and then some. I mean, I've got extra stuff here. You don't need all this. So let's think about some of the spoons that I've been using that I'm going to try to replicate. So the spoon that you may have seen me use a lot on this channel is the VMC tumbler spoon. So it's just about a 1 inch, 1 and 1 1/4 inch spoon. It's got a hook, and then it's got that little flashy spinner on the bottom, just like what I have over there, so we can maybe mimic that. It's got a small eye on it, My eye is going to be a little bit bigger than that, and it's got a kind of a little hologram going on. Otherwise, there's not much to it. The important thing about this spoon is it's got a little bit of bend, and I'm going to try and replicate that. So this is my favorite spoon, and I use this almost all the time. So this costs about $4 to $5 per one of these. Okay, so that's pretty expensive. With our kit, we can make something similar for about 50 cents or less. Okay, another one that I like to use is the Swedish pimple. So this has been around for a long time, a really common spoon. And again, it's an even simpler spoon in that it's just a piece of metal, basically. It's got a little hologram on this one, and then it's got a little spoon. Okay, so that's what we are shooting for here. So let's go ahead and get right into it. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out one of these, because this is about the perfect size of spoon that I want to use for mine. So it's already got a hole at the top, and we need to put a hole in the bottom. This is stainless steel, so it's a lot harder to get through it with the drill than you'd think. So I broke a couple drill bits, and I ruined some spoons because I did not have the right drill bits. There's two different ways you can drill through these spoons. But before you get to that, the first thing you want to do is you want to find a way to kind of fasten the spoon down so that you're not going to get your hand close to it. So what I've done is, first I set it kind of where I wanted to drill it, and I hammered a nail into the side and then another nail in, so the spoon can push in a little bit, but it gets stuck there, right? And then I hammer another nail right into. So then after I've got that stuck there, then I hammer another nail in, and that keeps it from moving. And then you don't have to hold your hand down there and potentially hit your hand or whatever. The first way that I like to make a hole is with a nail. So I'm just going to put a nail kind of where I want that second hole, where I'm going to have that eyelet and the treble hook right there at the bottom. I'm gonna center it, and then I'm just going to give it a whack. Almost got through there. Okay, and I'm going to pull it back out. You know, it kind of makes a little indentation, but in the end, the fish are not going to care. And we can kind of flatten it out with our pliers here a little bit. There we go. So in the end, the fish are not going to care about that, and I'll show you in a second why this is easier than drilling, or at least for me, it's easier than drilling. Okay, the second way that you can make a hole, you grab another one here, put it in our little holder here, and I'm going to turn it over for this on the back side. I'm going to drill a hole this time, but it's easier for me. So this is slick on top, and it's really hard stainless steel. So when you put your drill bit on there and start drilling it, it slips around, and that's one of the reasons why I don't like drilling on these, because it slips a lot, so it's hard to be precise with where your hole is. So I'm going to go in from the back side. It's not as slick on the back, and again, I'm going to make sure that's tight, and I'm going to hammer in my nail. Okay, so now I know that this is in place. Then I'm going to take a small drill bit. Just choose the size of the hole that you want. This is about right for me. The important thing that I can say about this that I learned the hard way is that this bit needs to be a cobalt bit. It makes it a lot harder, and it can go through the stainless steel. If you don't have that, it's very, very hard to get through it. So I'm just going to choose my spot that I wanted. I wanted about right there, and I'm going to press down pretty firmly. And then the important thing is to just be really light with your trigger finger and just start off slow. So you can see how I didn't try to go too fast with that. I've also got these bigger ones, these gold ones. So I'm going to try to put a hole in one of those. So I don't know if I'm going to show all that clip, but that took me probably like a minute to drill through that. So yeah, I mean, like I said, my preference is to just hammer through it, but this also works to drill. So the first one I want to make is kind of like a tumbler spoon. I'm going to put my O-ring on first. I'm going to get kind of a medium-sized O-ring here. Use the pliers, open that end up. Okay, so there's our O-ring. I'm going to put a tiny little spinner off of that. A little spinner to give it some flash near the hook. I'm just going to put on my tiny hook. It's actually the smallest one that they've got in that set. I'm going to follow that. I'm going to put that right on track after that spinner till it gets to the... There we go. There. So that looks great. That little bit of flash there right next to the hook. And then now I'm going to go ahead and put an O-ring on top. Okay. So there we go. I've got my O-ring on top. You can see I've got my spinner. So like I said before, I want to try to mimic the bend in this tumbler spoon. So I'm going to, the last little part of it, I'm going to try and grab that and bend it. So I'm just going to grab this. You can see that right there. So there's the bend on my spoon, there's the bend on the tumbler spoon over here in this hand. It's pretty close. The angle's pretty close to right, so that's, and it doesn't have to be spot on, I don't think. It's like, if it's bent like that, it's going to behave pretty erratically, so it's probably going to be all over the place. There we go, that looks nice. And then we have our flashy thing. So now, the fun part, we get to try and design some holograms here. So, I think what I'm going to do is maybe put some color on top. So first of all, I'm just going to trace around the outside, just like so. And then I think I'm just going to use this color on half of it. So I'm just going to draw a line across the middle. And I don't want it to be the full size of this spoon because it's going to cover up my holes. So I'm going to try to cut on the inside. I'm going to kind of flatten out the end like that, so that it doesn't cover my hole, because I know that my hole's there. And then we'll just go down the middle like this. So it's going to be a pretty small little slit there. And then the tricky part with these is always getting the backing to come off. All right. So half of the body, like that. There we go. So we've got a little bit of flash there. And then I'm going to put some of this hologram material on the bottom. Maybe I'll put something like that. That looks pretty cool. Okay, so this is going to give it kind of a scaly look. There we go. So there's my spoon. It kind of overlaps the red, but that's no big deal. So that looks pretty cool, I'd say. Now let's add a little googly eye. And for this, all I'm going to do is just use a toothpick and just tap on a little bit of, well, let's use this nail I've got over here. Super glue goes on. It's a pretty big eye for it, but that's okay. Haha, look at that. Yeah, that's pretty cool, huh? On there, I have a feeling that might attract a fish. It looks pretty cool. So that's our tumbler spoon. So now let's try one that's just a little bit more generic, kind of like this would be, I guess, my version of the Swedish pimple. It's more or less the same thing, it just doesn't have a bend in it. Okay, again, a small spinner. Let's put a gold one on this one. All right, I got my gold spoon on there. Now I'm going to put on the hook. So I've got another one. It's going to be about the same as that other one, but this is going to be my Swedish pimple version, I guess. So the no bend, and I'm going to try some other colors. Let's try some of this. This is pretty cool stuff right here for half of it. Look at that. How cool is that? That is so cool. Hopefully you guys can see the flashy colors of that. That's awesome. And then across the bottom, I think I'm going to put some like tiger stripes, but in the glow color. That should be pretty cool. Let's put an eyeball on there. Put on my eye. Oh yeah, that's pretty cool. Look at that. You know what the best part is? Boom, look at that glow. Hopefully you can see the glow on that. All right, so that's going pretty well. So I'm gonna put that over there with our other one. Let's try out one of these micro spoons, shall we? For this one, I'm gonna add a little bit of a twist to it. So all I'm gonna do is lock this treble hook into my vise. I'm just gonna put some white marabou on the tail. Here we go, I'm gonna give it a nice thick white tail here. I don't want it to be much longer than the hook itself, so I don't want to overdo it. So we'll cut a lot of that off. Tie it in nice and firm. Whip finish. And then importantly, we need to put a little head cement on that. Okay, so there you go. Let me try and trim it up here a little bit. There we go, we're just gonna have a little bit of flash on that thing. Almost there. So that looks pretty good. See, we got our spinner there. We have our little bit of white tail. Let's put a little hologram on. How about some of this gold? Looks pretty good. Stick that right there on that guy. Okay. And then this tiny little eye on there. Yeah, it's not bad. There he is, tiny little glow eye. Oh yeah, look at that little eye. I can see my other one over here. That's pretty cool. Okay, so now we got 3. Like that little micro spoon, that could be nice. Let's go for a big one here. Okay, so there we go. Look at that. It's nice. Oh, I don't know, blue and gold go together, but I think that's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool little combo. All the way up here. There, right there. There we go. That is pretty sweet. Look at that guy. All right, time for the light test. Oh yeah, that is awesome. I'm gonna do one more tumbler spoon. I think I'm gonna put all glow on this one. Maybe I'll just put a little gold eye on there. There we go. Nice little gold eye. It doesn't look like much, like I said before, but once you turn off the lights, it's going to look pretty sweet. So the before and the after. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that glow-in-the-dark fish. That is sweet. All right, so here you can see the finished product. One big one, 3 medium-sized one, 2 of which are tumbler spoons. So they've got that little bend in it, and then one small one. I might make a few others here, but I think these are a good place to start at the pond. So the cool part is, here's the before, and then boom, look at that glow. That is going to be sweet. Lights on, lights off. How cool is that? I can't wait to try these out. Okay, here's bait number one. It's got a little bend in it. Let's see how it looks in the bucket of water. Oh yeah. There we go. Let's try this little one. See how it looks. Oh yeah. I really like that. I think that marabou tail is pretty good. It's going to make the profile a little bit bigger. All right, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that. Now for the fun part, I'm going to head out and try some of these spoons out when I get a chance. So right now it's about 11:15 at night, so I've been working on this for quite a while. I'm going to go get to bed, and then either tomorrow morning or tomorrow evening, I'm going to get out and try these spoons out, and we'll see if we can catch some fish. But the only opinion that we really care about is the fish. They'll tell us whether we did good or not. So I'm going to take these out to the pond tomorrow and see if we can smash them. All right, thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you in a bit at the pond. All right, everybody, I'm out here on a rural farm pond, and I'm getting ready to try out those spoons we made. They look pretty good. I think they'll probably catch fish, but we're about to find out. Come on. Got him. Sweet. There, I got him. Sweet. Feels kind of heavy. He hasn't taken off on me yet. Oh boy. What do we have here?